Huzzah and welcome to Beyond the Gates, an Ohio Renaissance Fair production. On this show, you will hear from all your favorite members of Streetcast, vendors, and stage shows. We will hear wonderful stories from years past and find out who are the people who make the fair as magical as it is. So please, join us and enjoy Beyond the Gates. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode and another season of Beyond the Gates, an Ohio Renaissance Fair podcast. Welcome to season 3. And for my first episode of this season, I have invited Erin to be on. Erin, how are you doing today?
I'm good, thank you.
Good, good. Now, Erin, how many years have you been a part of cast?
I have been a part of cast since 2004. Um, but I did move away for 2 years, and then I took 2019 and I took 2020 off because I worked in a doctor's office and I didn't want to take any chances of being the outbreak monkey. So I decided that taking those that year off would be okay. And it was. So you could say, let's see, 22 years in total, 22 seasons.
So is this your 22nd or is this your 23rd?
I think this would count as my 22nd season.
Okay.
Although I always say that while I was in Colorado, my heart was in Ohio, and I desperately missed the Renaissance Festival. So,
What part of Colorado did you live in?
for a year and a couple months, we lived just outside of Denver, in the part of Denver called Five Points. We had a condo that we shared with two other people. It was fairly small, but it was what we could afford, all four of us, to live out in Colorado. So, and we moved out there because Leo's job took him out there, and I thought, why not?
My wife and I, we got married in Colorado, so
Oh,
that's why
that's
I
nice.
asked.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We're at.
Up in the Loveland area,
Oh,
up
yeah.
in a
Well,
place
I
of
know it.
called Twin Lakes.
Yep.
Is Yeah.
Yeah, I know
We
it.
uh we got married right on an overlook essentially right above the lake and stuff like that.
Very cool.
Yeah. And it was when the world was opening back up, and so we got two round trip flights from Columbus to Colorado for about $200. So,
Gosh, that's such a good deal.
yeah, I was like, yeah, let's do it.
It's fantastic.
So with being on cast for so long, what characters have you played?
Well, in 2004 and 2005, I played the Lord Mayor of London's daughter, named Mary Prudence Clark. She had a brother who was who joined cast. Well, he joined. He became somebody in the village, I think, the next year. But so she was the Lord Mayor of London's daughter, and she was visiting willy-nilly because Her Majesty had requested that the Lord Mayor of London and his family come and visit. And the guy who played my father, he was not on cast anymore, but he used to be the Lord Mayor of the village at one point in time. His name was Robert, and he would come back and visit quite a bit. So I got to know him, and Lisa Peterson, actually, who was the queen for several years before Allison was queen and then before I was queen. She actually played, I think it was Cordelia, which was Mary Prudence's mother. So she was the Lady Mayoress or something like that at some point in time. So we had this kind of big family that we brought into life when I started, because I didn't know what I wanted to do, and I knew I didn't want to be on court at that time because it was brand new. I literally on a whim decided to come and audition at the Renaissance Festival. And so I was given that character role because I had like analysis paralysis, and I was like, I don't know what to do. So they were like, well, this is an established family, so you can take that and run with it. And so we did. So that was 2004 and 2005. 2006, my third year, I was Catherine Holiday, the innkeeper's wife, because at the time you couldn't just have a female innkeeper. And my big joke that year was, oh, I don't know where my husband went. He went to London or fell down the stairs. So when it would come up in conversation. And then the fourth year, I was the Lady Mayoress. Veronica Rose Linden, and I was a Lady Mayoress for a year, and that was a lot of fun. I enjoyed that. And then it was after that that I was approached with, "Would you like to be the queen?" Now, there's a lot of people who are probably going to like the story because I didn't really have to audition for that role. Um, at the time, the entertainment director was in a bind. She had reached out to some other very well-known queens from other festivals, and it was just going to be a little too much. Um, so she asked if I wanted to do it because I have a bachelor's of art degree in theater. I've done theater and for as long as I can remember. And I said, yeah, I'll do that because why not? And then I was Her Majesty for 2008, 9, and 10. And then I left after 2010. I moved to Colorado. Then I was in Indiana. So in 2013 I came back and I came back as a peasant, demented Scruffins. She was the rat therapist. Um, her big thing was, here's a stuffed rat for you to throw at me, but don't throw it at me 8 by 10 because I'm pretty, which means everybody immediately threw the beanbag rat at my head, which was hilarious. Because then everybody always felt really bad, but I was like, no, that's why I pointed at to my face, so that you would actually hit me and not like somebody else. Um, After that, I was thinking about being the lady mayoress again, which is funny because I was like, why couldn't we just have a lady mayoress? Like, I feel like we're becoming more progressive as a village in the same year of 1572. And I was thinking heavily about becoming the lady mayoress. And then my friends at the time, Megan and Tina, both looked at me and said, no, no, you're going to be a pirate. And I said, I am? And they said, yes, you are. And that is kind of how I became a pirate. And then I was Malarkey Flint, which was Sparky Flint's twin sister, 3 years removed. And I played Malarkey for a long time. I did Malarkey 2014, 15, 16, 17, and 18. I took 19 and 20 off. I came back 21 and 22. I was Malarkey Flint again. And then in 23, I picked up the reins of Grace O'Malley.
Uh, when did you take on the role of, I guess, stage manager is probably the best term. The
Um,
stage manager with not a lot of stages on an outdoor.
Right. Really, I'm just good at herding cats. I mean, let's put it that way. Like, I'm there to make sure that people show up on time and get to where they need to be on time and that things are as well taken care of as possible. Um, but I started doing that, I think, when I became Grace, actually. So I think it's been the last couple of years. Not very many, but just a few. And the role has kind of, it's gotten, what do I want to say? I guess it's expounded a little bit. Like, first I was just dealing with the cast during rehearsals, but then Dave needed me to help with opening, running opening gate. So that makes sure that, because sometimes he was pulled away a lot and was not always able to be there. So instead of trying to wait on him to get back, it was just better off. Why don't we just have somebody who also knows what needs to be done? And that's just involves cueing the musicians to go when they're supposed to go, making sure that everything runs as smoothly as possible. If there's sound problems, to let the sound guys know. There's a couple guys that work down in the bottom of the front gate where the sound is at. I kind of let them know. That really happened last year where it seemed to be going in and out. So I hope that they have that fixed. Um, but yeah, so I kind of within the last couple years, I just kind of picked up on that and started helping Dave more. And it's been a fun learning experience.
To touch back on when you were queen, since the queen is, I don't know if I want to say this on recording, but the large mouse-like figure at other parks.
Indeed, indeed, she is. That's the best way to put that.
How was that?
That was probably it was one of the most nerve-wracking times at my career at festival, but it was also some of the most fun. We had a fairly small cast at the time. The festival wasn't nearly as big as it is now, and I feel like I think I just kind of felt like I played Queen Elizabeth as the young flirty queen. And so she always had gentlemen around her all the time, and we'd have guests that come in from other festivals, like Fisher's Renaissance in Indiana. They used to, a couple of the ladies used to come in. And because our court was so small, I would invite them to sit on the dais with me at that time, which was always a lot of fun. I did enjoy going to the jousts. I don't necessarily need to go to them anymore, but I did do it for 3 years in a row, twice a day, and had an excellent time bantering back and forth with the knights. At that time, it was the Knights of Valor. So I got to know some of those guys fairly well. And I just had a good time. I enjoyed talking to people. So many times did I have like somebody would just thrust their baby into my arms and be like, "Here, hold my baby." And I'm like, "This baby's like 4 days old. Like, what are you doing?" And I've got like metal all over, and I'm like, this is dangerous, but okay. And I still have friends. So I had lots of friends that would come out to the Renaissance Festival, and they had smaller kids at the time. And I still am told, even to this day, no offense to Connie, you're my favorite queen, and your picture's still hanging up on our wall with my kids. And I'm sure it extends to the fact that there's that memory that they have associated with it. So, I mean, I had a great time. Um, when I left, because I had to move. The only reason I stopped being queen is because I was moving away. So part of me would like to think that I not maybe not still be queen at this point in time in my life, but would have done it for a couple more years. I would have enjoyed it. Things are really starting to grow and change when I left. So I think I missed out a little bit, but that's life.
What is your favorite memory from when you were queen?
Oh, fighting. Uh, Fighting Charlie because they always had to figure out a way for me to win because Her Majesty couldn't lose a fight. Um, but yeah, so fighting, I managed to weasel my way into the end of the stunt show my third year. Um, I think I fought every year as queen. I ended up getting to slap the living daylights out of the Lord Leicester we had that year, and that was fabulous. That was a good time. All in good fun at the fight, but he also was needling me about things, and I was like, if you don't back away, I will hit you for real. And I might have done so.
How is it now as Grace O'Malley?
I really enjoy playing Grace O'Malley. I've enjoyed getting to know about her because she is also a historical character. Queen Elizabeth is real, but Grace O'Malley was also very real. Her Irish name is Grania Nimaya, and just in the translations is how they got from Grania to Grace, I think. A lot of the history we know from Grace is actually from the English side when she went to visit in the 1590s. I think it was 1593. She went to England on behalf of her son. So a lot of the history that we know about Grace, there's the folklore and there's the legends and the stories that are recounted, orally passed down in Ireland. But there's a lot of the technical stuff that we learned about her was written in notes by courtiers who were researching her and trying to figure out like who is this and are we going to let her in and is she going to speak to the queen and like she didn't just sail her ship into the middle of England, into the middle of London, and be like, "Oh, I'm gonna get out and just walk in and talk to Her Majesty." No, she got there and then she had to petition to talk to Her Majesty. So they were trying to very much figure out who's her family clan and where's she from. And we know her because she harasses the English that are in Ireland. So learning about her and being able to portray her in a fashion at festival it's been really kind of wonderful. We've had several Grace O'Malleys that have been in the past, and I've been lucky that I've been able to portray her for the last 3 years, going on 4 years, 3 years, 3, 4, 5, 6, yeah, fourth year. So it's I like learning about somebody and learning their history, and then trying to work some of that into my conversations with kids and with patrons. Um, I don't I don't hold her story straight up. I don't like tell people this is how it is. But I like to take parts of her story and share them with little kids. Like it's okay to be a pirate if you're a little girl because female pirates did exist a long time ago, and Grace is absolutely one of the best ones.
What shows are you a part of?
Well, this year I'm not a part of any shows. I'm just going to be running around after Dave, probably gasping out of breath as he trucks from one side of the festival to the other. In the past, though, I've been a part of the stunt show. Typically, I am part of chess match. I do try to audition in order to perform in that show, but I'm taking a year off from that this year.
Why did you audition for cast in the first place?
A good friend of mine, Jackie, we used to go to the Renaissance Festival as patrons, and we made our very first dresses out of they were probably Jessica McClintock gowns that were like prom gowns that we then added like we embroidered and added some accoutrement to them to make them look like they were bodices that had been laced up, and we made our own cloaks and we made our own little bags, and we got peasant blouses from thrift stores, and we dressed up and we had a great time, and we got hoop skirts from somewhere. I feel like this was before Amazon, so who knows where we got the hoop skirts from. Ordered them offline somewhere, probably. Um, got hoop skirts. No, we made our own hoop skirts. Did we make our own hoop skirts? I don't feel like we did that for the first time. It doesn't matter. The point is I had been going for a couple of years and I really enjoyed it. And I remember learning how to dance, doing the circle dances, talking to some of the cast members, and I just fell in love with it. And I always thought that that was something that I would want to do. I always wanted to work in I always wanted to work at Slate Run because I thought that would be fun to work on an old farm. Um, but Festival was the first place that I actually got to audition and do that. So I auditioned in 2004, like the whole week leading up to it, Monday and Tuesday, I'm going to audition. Thursday and Friday, no, I'm not going to audition. I'm not going to do it. And then I woke up Saturday morning and I looked at the time and I was like, yes, I am. I am going to go do it. So I grabbed everything that I had almost put away, jumped in the car, and drove past Hell is Real all the way down to the festival fairgrounds to audition. And I remember there was like 125 people who auditioned that day because I think we only had one day of auditions. And we had to be there like 9 a.m. and we stayed all day. And we found out that day if we were cast or not. But I auditioned because I wanted to, but I almost talked myself out of it. And I like to think, oh, that's a lie. I don't like to think. I don't like to think about what my life would look like if I hadn't gone to festival because the festival has been a catalyst for so many things that's happened in my life that I'm like, I don't even know what that other Erin looks like.
It's funny you mention that because the next question I have here is outside of this episode, we have spoken, and you said that fair changes you. So my question is, how has fair changed you?
Festival is it's a magical place. And for it really is a place where people who don't feel like they fit in or they may not feel comfortable opening up to other people or just aren't used to interacting with people, the way we do our rehearsal process typically creates a family type atmosphere. And for a lot of people, that's not the kind of atmosphere they have at home or they have at their jobs. So they really feel like they can come in and they've found a place where they belong. And I never thought that I would be very good at improv. I like scripts. Give me a piece of paper to memorize, and then I can put my own twist on it. That's where I felt comfortable. Um, I didn't really do any shows at OSU. I was a stage manager at OSU. So I figured out that I had this fear of auditioning, when I'm in the middle of my theater degree. And I was like, oh, well, this sucks. Okay. Well, so I decided to focus on stage managing. And the idea of coming out and auditioning, and then I did, and I met so many wonderful people just in that first audition because it wasn't just new people at that time, returning cast, I think for like the second year, I think they also had to audition. But I don't know if they were there because they wanted people to have the new people to interact with. Like I would have to ask Kelly, the entertainment director at the time. But I just remember I stayed around. Like, you didn't have to stick around till the end, but I stayed around at the end because I really wanted to know if I was going to have an opportunity to be a part of just the little bit of magic that I saw on that day. And it was like 5:30 at night, and I was finally called in and was told yes, that I was going to be cast. Um, but all of my friends are from festival now. Like, I still have friends outside of the festival, but my best friends are at festival. Uh, when I got married, a lot of the people that I invited to my wedding were festival people. I met my husband through the festival. Um, I moved to Colorado with festival people. Like, all of my whole life changed. It went in a completely different direction than I think it ever would have if I had just stayed at the bank or worked in a corporate world without doing anything creative or anything with theater. I do festival because it itches that theater bug for me. It scratches that itch, so that I don't necessarily need to go do theater in the off season, although I have in the past. But I don't know. Like, my whole life, like, if you look, I don't know, I guess it's like a palm, right? Like, you look at your palm and you've got definite breaks and changes. That's what I feel like my lifeline looks like with festival. I don't know if that's a really good answer, but it changed, it just changed my whole life in a way that is really hard to describe because I don't know that I can think of what it would be like without it. I mean,
Hmm.
I went to Colorado and I was miserable during the festival season. I knew all of my friends were back in Ohio, like, picking up their characters, and there was a new queen, and I was really sad that I wasn't able to do it anymore. And that's how I knew that this wasn't just a one or granted it had been longer than 1 or 2 years, but I knew after being gone for a couple years that I was like, I can't not do this. So I
Hmm.
want to stay active in it in some way. And maybe that's a little bit why I decided, well, we could use a stage manager so that if I decide not to do some aspect of it, I'll still be able to be involved.
No, that was a very good answer. Thank you.
You're welcome. I just felt like I was rambling on, but there we go.
Oh, no, no, it's all right. Um, some of what you said kind of relates to me in some way. I did theater all throughout high school and most of college,
Hmm.
and outside of that, in my small town, I was part of the young actors group that my town had. So theater was always a big part of me and what I did. And doing festival really scratched that itch for me again because I hadn't done it in so long, and then I just showed my wife a TikTok, and I was like, "Oh yeah, they're having auditions this weekend. I should. This sounds like a fun idea," and
Yeah.
I just went for
No, that's great. I love that.
it.
I do. I mean, I think that's the best way. Like I said, I tried to plan to go and then I talked myself out of going. And then I woke up that morning. I was like, no, I'm going to do it. It was so I counted as the last minute decision, even though I had been kind of prepared.
So speaking about changes, what has been the biggest change that you have seen at fair?
Oh, well, there's probably several actually. The new gate is the first thing that pops into my head. Because the old gate, people were falling. There were soft spots on the top of that gate, and if you weren't careful, you'd fall right through. Pretty sure some people they didn't fall all the way through, but they got a leg stuck. So, like, the old gate was old. It was old and it was falling apart. So when they put in the new gate, it was just like I don't know why it made me feel like, oh, we're really real now. We've been around for so long, but that gate is impressive. And then of course, they keep, the addition of the barbecue, such a big deal because I remember what that area looked like before and it was not a barbecue. It was just a little stage area, a little sitting area with a creek that ran through it that flooded occasionally. And then we were right next to where the Knights encampment used to be. So, you know, everything would go downhill into the creek. Sure, you can figure out what I mean by that. Um, And so it was cute, but the changes that the owners have really put into it have just done nothing but to make it better. There's not been one change that, not that my opinion matters, where I would have been like, ugh, why do they do that? I mean, everything has been, oh, that's a great idea. Like, it's nice to have owners who want to take care of it and want to try to make it better and want to try to make everybody's time there better. So the addition of the new gate, the new area that opened up in the back that used to be a camping area but is now the Whimsy Woods. We've got what I call the Pimple, which is not a very nice name, but it's where the food is at the far end. Over I can't remember. I'm sure that area has its own specific name, but I just think of it as the little pimple because it pops right out there.
Oh, the area over by the the dungeon.
Yes, that's where all the food, like the bunch of new food is at. Yeah. That used to be Cass camping
Oh.
before they popped it out there. Yeah, so like Cass used to camp in tents back there, on site, and not just Cass, they'd have other people that would camp back there. And there was some hookups, I think, for RVs, not very many, but just a few. And so there's a lot of changes that have happened, but I think all of them have been for the good, like for good. And I wouldn't say that if I didn't believe that. So I'm not just blowing smoke. They've done an excellent job.
What do you do when you aren't at fair playing dress up in the woods with your friends?
I work for Ohio ENT and Allergy Physicians, and we are a large ear, nose, and throat specialty practice that's kind of all over Columbus. We have an office, Columbus, Grove City, out on East Broad Street, up in Westerville at St. Anne's Hospital. We have an office. We have one in Delaware, and we have offices in Dublin. We've just added another physician, and he works in Hilliard. So now he's part of the practice. And my technical title is clinical systems manager, but I like to think of myself as the physician liaison, because whenever there's an issue with our current EMR or the doctors need help with something, I'm typically the first person they call. So I do a lot of that. I take care of our EMR, which is electronic medical record, in case anybody wasn't sure. And I've been there for a total of 20 years. Yes. So almost as long as I've been at the festival, I've been at this job. Now, I did leave, of course. I left for 2 years and then I came back when I moved back to Ohio. I was like auditioning. It's kind of like an audition. I was interviewing for jobs and I just emailed the CEO at the time and was like, hey, I'm back in town and I didn't know if there was anything for me at Ohio ENT. And he emailed back and said, yes, we'll find something. We love you. Reach out to this person. And I did. And that's what happened the last 13 years I've been back. So
Oh, that's great. What would you say to someone who is considering auditioning for a cast?
I would say do it. Do it even if you don't know what you want to do or how you want to do it, come out and have fun and let all your inhibitions go with what you think is the right way to act or the wrong way to act. It doesn't matter. Just come out, have a good time, do what we ask you to do, because I've been part of the audition committee for a long time now. And I mean, you can't go wrong. I mean, like, we can't always take everybody, but we do try to take as many people as possible. So there's always a good chance that you'll get it. And if you don't, come back the next year. Just come back and have fun. Come out and have fun. Don't overthink it. I mean, I remember one of the standout memories that I have from when I auditioned in 2004 is my friend Rachel, my friend now at the time I didn't know her, but we did an improv where it ended up with, I think, peanut butter sandwiches in geriatric wheelchair races was how the improv ended. And it's just something that I've never, ever, ever forgotten because I thought it was hysterical to imagine geriatric wheelchair races. I don't know. It was funny then, but that's just something that stands out. So you'll make these memories even at the audition, and it'll be something that'll just last with you forever because it's ridiculous. So,
My first memory of auditions is being so nervous I uh, got sick in the parking lot.
oh no, I did not know that. Oh, I'm
Yeah.
so sorry.
No, it's all right. It's all right.
Oh my goodness.
Uh, what is something that you would highlight for someone to do when they come out to fair this year?
I would say get there early. Get your tickets early. Get there early on the day you're going to be there. And when I went, I always went to see the Swordsman. They're my favorite. Dirk Perfect and Guido Crescendo. Um, those two, their show is worth watching every year. It's fabulous. So you should start there. And if you can't start there in the morning, I'm not going to tell you what order to do things in. I'm just going to tell you what to see. See the Swordsman. Then make sure you see the Pirate Comedy Stunt Show. Of course, I'm going to promote that because they put in so much effort and hard work and they rehearse in for hours upon hours on the weekends in order to make the show as good for you as they can. And it's absolutely worth going to see. So you should definitely see the Pirate Comedy Stunt Show. You should catch a joust because it's the biggest show that we have. Um, I would say some of these things overlap, but if you can, go to a whiskey tasting if that's up your alley. If it's not, go out back down to the backside of the festival and see the Kamikaze Fireflies. They always put on a really great show. And while you're back there, there's the Mud Pit. Like some of our biggest acts that we've had in this, they've been with us forever. They're still there because they're still good. And it's still worth watching and it's still worth going to see. Now that's not to say that some of the smaller acts that come in and out, absolutely see those guys as well. There's usually special events that are going on. If you can come in on one of those weekends, Jacques the Whipper is going to be there this year. That's huge for us. So if you can come out and see him, absolutely do so. Uh, Go to the pub sing. If you can stay all day and hit up the pub sing because seeing the cast come together and to perform on the final show at the final time, we have we have a rocking good time. And there's a lot of love there and there's a lot of fun and a lot of excitement that you don't always get to see throughout the day because it's really an opportunity for the cast and some of the other shows to kind of show off any kind of special talents that they have. So it's a good time. You should I always want people to stay all day. Stay all day. Come in the morning and stay in the evening and then just be ready to take your time leaving because it might be busy.
And last but not least, this is always one of my favorite questions to ask. Uh, what keeps you coming back year after year?
The people. The people that I've known forever, meeting new people, uh, being a part of the family is what brings me back. And I mean, that's why I still am trying to do whatever I can, really, even though I'm not in a bunch of shows and I'm not as active as I once was. I still want to be involved some way because, Dave and Charlie, these are some of my best friends. Kim, these are all people that I've known for the last 20 some years of my life or longer. And I just can't imagine my life without them. And I still have friends who come in who used to work at the festival and now they work there in booths. Like my friend Megan, she works for Jennings' booth and I get to see her on the weekends too. And that makes me happy because as much as I like to be that person's like, I'll come out and see you. And I used to do that all the time. But I've gotten older now, Lucas, and I don't drive as much as I used to. I was the driver. You can ask any of them. I would drive anywhere at any time. And now driving makes me tired and I'm old. And so I don't drive as much. So it's if I can see you, if you can come to festival and I can see you there, then that's perfect. I don't want to be without my family.
Well, Erin, thank you very much for coming on the first episode of season 3 of Beyond the Gates. And to everyone out there, thank you so much for listening and welcome back. And we are all very excited to see you at the Ohio Renaissance Festival this year. So come out and say hi. And as always, you can listen to this episode on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. Please don't want to be the typical YouTuber here, but like, comment, and subscribe because it helps us out immensely with getting the word out of this show. And as always, huzzah!
Huzzah.